Welcome back, everybody, to the KC Sports Report. I'm your host, Michael Darcy, and today I have the great pleasure to be joined by my friends Josh Fan and Lucas Murphy. Josh Fan is of ShowMeFootball.com, and Lucas Murphy is the beat of Kansas City. And in this video, we're going to talk about kicker Harrison Butker and if he is becoming a problem for the Kansas City Chiefs. So, fellas, one of the storylines that is kind of going, I guess, under the radar is Harrison Butker's struggles to begin the 2025 season. So far, out of 34 qualified kickers, his field goal grade is 57.7, which ranks 26th. His field goal percentage is 77.8, which ranks 23rd. And his PAT percentage is 60th percent, which is 34th out of 34 qualified kickers. And these are all pulled from PFF. But guys, it seems like he is not the same player that he was a couple seasons ago. But I want to get your thoughts on this. Are you worried about Butker? And we'll start with Josh.
Not super worried yet because Butker's done this a few times now. He's had a few stretches throughout his career where it seems like he can't make anything, and you're like, what's going on? And then it usually goes away, and usually when it comes down to like a game winner or like the ones that you really need, he still seems to be making those. But it is a little bit worrisome because, you know, this is a season in which he's coming off that injury from last year, and we've seen some kickers sometimes, like once they lose their mojo, it's kind of hard to get it back, and you hope Butker isn't losing his. Price Carter over at Arrowhead Addict pointed this out the other day about how, like, you know, Younghoe Koo, who got cut from the Falcons, he was like the most accurate kicker in the NFL like 2 years ago, and he just got cut from the Falcons. And sometimes with these kickers, it just ends, and you don't really get a warning. It just kind of ends. And I'm hoping that's not where we're at with Butker, but it's something worth monitoring. And you could actually make the argument that he was the biggest reason the Chiefs started 0-2. I mean, he played a big part in that.
I will go ahead and say, and I will have people put this in the comment section, in your comment section. Can somebody tell me a more stressful position in all of sports? I truly believe that being a kicker in really college and in the NFL, it is by far one of the most stressful things, because often when you step on the field, the game is depending on you making a significant kick of long distance. And you have to come up clutch. Like, you have to have the clutch gene. Now, to answer your question, Darcy, am I concerned? I don't think I'm overly concerned about Butker, but what I am concerned with is the PAT aspect of it. And I think kickers often get the yips. They start thinking about it. They have to reflect on it. They're on the sideline, you know, kicking balls into the net before they go out there. Does that start to go through his mind on, oh man, last game I missed a PAT, now I got to go out here and do that again, or I missed a 48-yard field goal, for example. And I get, like, those guys are pretty strict with their sports psychology and how to, like, get that stuff out of their mind. But as a kicker, like I said, that's constantly, you're put into position in the most stressful situations in a game. And so you have to at some point realize, like, that could come up. So I'm not overly concerned with his ability to kick field goals. I'm more concerned with the constant misses of PATs, which in most aspects are gimmies. And if he continues to miss the PATs, because those add up. Like, who's to say that this game coming up against the Ravens, if he misses a PAT, it doesn't come down to that potentially being a costly reason that we lose the football game. So yeah, that's what I'm concerned with.
I think that I fall in line with both of your perspectives. I'm not super worried about Harrison Butker, and maybe I should be, but I feel like he has earned the benefit of the doubt because he has gone through stretches like this before. Now, there are some concerns that, you know, he's coming off of an injury from last year, and Josh made a great point. When kickers lose it, it's over. I mean, look at Justin Tucker, and he's got some off-the-field issues, but, you know, when he was done in Baltimore, he was done in Baltimore. And so I hope that Harrison Butker doesn't fall in that same category. I mean, if we're just looking at his extra points, so far this season, He is 3 of 5 on his extra points. He's missed 2 of them. And looking at his field goals, he's attempted 9, he's made 7. So far right now, his field goal percentage is 77.8%, and his extra point percentage is 60%. And if we're looking at his PFF grades from all of his career years, so far 2025 is his second to worst season as a pro. Now granted, very small sample size, but in 2023, the dude was nails. And right now, he has the worst grade of his career. Now, I think that he will turn it around, but right now, he's an average NFL kicker, and the Chiefs are not paying him to be an average NFL kicker. So I think he's got some stuff to figure out. Lucas, you make a good point about the psychology behind it, and I think out of all of the players that have been the most clutch over this Chiefs dynastic run, Harrison Butker, you could argue, is second behind Patrick Mahomes. Like, this dude has made countless kicks, whether it's in an AFC championship game or a Super Bowl or a playoff game, to help them win. I mean, you don't win back-to-back championships without Harrison Butker. So I think he has earned the benefit of the doubt, but there is some concern that's starting to creep in. And so I guess my next question for you guys, at what point does that concern level reach an all-time high? And we'll start with Lucas.
I would say if we start to see a miss almost every 3 games, like if we're starting to see a trend where, and again, I guess not necessarily like missing, but like if we're missing in close range, we're missing those PATs, that's where my concern, because for a kicker, those are the less stressful situations. If we're consistently missing the more easier, moderate kicks, that's where my concern level is definitely like, I'm going to hit that button pretty quickly. But if he's missing like 49, 50 yarders, like that's a difficult kick for anybody. I mean, and so I'm not going to be overly concerned, but like if we're missing those easy, moderate kicks on a consistent basis, 1 to 3 games, like, yeah, I'm going to be concerned.
I think over these next few games, and I don't want it to come down to this, but I think it'll be interesting to see if one of the next few games, whether that's versus the Ravens or the Lions, comes down to him having to make a game-winning field goal or, a field goal to take the lead. I think if we see that and he misses that kick, then that's when I'm going to be worried, because I just said a few minutes ago how I still think I trust him to make the kicks that matter, that really matter. I mean, every kick has kind of mattered so far for him, and he's missing them, so that's a concern, obviously. But if he goes out there to kick a game winner and he misses that, that's when I'm going to be like, okay, where is Harrison Butker at?
Yeah, and so far, I mean, we all agree that he has earned the benefit of the doubt. And I want to talk more about some of his struggles, and we'll do that right after this break. This video is sponsored by my friends over at DM Injury Law. Injured in an accident, you could be entitled to significant compensation, but time is critical. Rely on the experienced personal injury attorneys at DM Law, Kansas City and Missouri's top injury law firm. DM Law is a full-service personal injury practice supported by a large team of investigators, case managers, medical records specialists, and more. And best of all, you don't pay unless they win. DM Law operates on a contingency fee basis, meaning no fees unless they win your case. And they also provide free consultations. So if you've been injured, don't wait. You can contact DM Law today for a free consultation and learn how they can help you pursue the compensation you deserve. Let them handle the fight while you focus on healing. Hurt in a car wreck? Call Mike. Remember, Mike's got this. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisement. Thanks to DM Injury Law for sponsoring this video. Huge thanks to the sponsors that have supported this channel all football season long. Now, getting back into the conversation about Harrison Butker, I think one of the positives about his 2025 season so far is sometimes when kickers go out, it's due to lack of leg strength and the field goals just aren't getting there. But I actually think the strength in his leg is there. I think the accuracy is the biggest issue right now. Like, even when he is making kicks, a lot of them are kicks that are way too close for comfort, or they're far left or far right. And so I think that there's definitely an accuracy issue, which is something that we're not really accustomed to saying when he's been one of the most accurate kickers in NFL history.
I think, too, you got to take into some considerations. Like, he almost missed another one. He doinked one in.
Yeah.
I can't remember, is Ariza the one that's holding for him? Because I remember there for a little bit, he had some conflicting issues in years past where who was holding it, how they were holding it. Once they got that ironed out, he was nails. So I wondered if some of that stuff's kind of going on. We saw the one where they rushed out to the field at the end of the half, and miraculously somehow he kicked that through. So he still has it there. It's just, I'm wondering if there's some things, just like this offense. This offense is just not fully clicking. Like, you would anticipate Mahomes and Kelsey being like able to do what they're able to do blindfolded, but now they're not obviously connecting. It could be the same with Butker right now. Maybe the placement of the football on the ground, or how it's being spun, or there's a lot of things that factor into kicking. The wind. I notice a lot of the time when he kicks, he's got a lot of arch. And what I mean by that is when a ball goes up, it starts to bend back into the post. Maybe he's got a little bit too much on that. He's kicking too much on the side. There's a lot of factors that go into kicking the football.
Yeah, I also think just one of my other concerns that I'll just shed light on here is that I think him missing these kicks, if it continues, is going to put more pressure on the Chiefs' offense and the offense, that's been one of our concerns as well. Like, they haven't been very good to start the season. But if Butker is missing those kicks, it's going to continue being the difference in these games because the Chiefs' offense is just, they've got issues. We've been over that several times now, but I think a lot of the games last year, the close games that the Chiefs won, a lot of them was because Harrison Butker was making those kicks. If the Chiefs' offense is struggling, and a lot of these games are also coming down to Harrison Butker not making the kicks, then the Chiefs' offense, there's just going to be more pressure on them to do something and put points up on the board.
Well, and you're putting your defense at a disadvantage because depending on where he misses it, say he misses a 50-yarder, you're giving that offense half the field. So, it's not only hindering the offense, but it's hindering the defense because now you're putting them at a disadvantage of having to stop potentially an offense like the Ravens at half field.
Well, I'll tell you what, it definitely changes the offensive approach if he starts missing kicks early on in the game, because if it's 4th down, 4th and 2, and you're a little bit outside of a range that you think is makeable for Butker, you're going to go for it. And normally, if you get across the 50, you think, oh, you're in Butker range. But it hasn't been the case this year. Now, I think that he'll iron out the details, and I think that this is just one of those weird stretches that kickers go on. A lot of kickers go through phases, and it just seems like we're talking about this now, but the offense has also been such an issue that it's highlighted the kicker not being as consistent as he's been, in years prior. So I think we're all in agreement that Harrison Butker is going to figure it out. It might just take, a couple more games to really iron out those details, and I think we'll get back to seeing a fairly accurate and consistent Harrison Butker. So, fellas, I think that is all the time we have in this video. My final question for both of you is, where can the people find your content? And we'll start with Lucas.
Head on over to the Beat of KC, ladies and gentlemen. YouTube channel and Twitter. Really trying to get the Twitter page up and going more than what it is. So head over there, just give me a follow. It's Chiefs content, Jayhawks, Royals. Definitely no Missouri.
As for me, you can find me here on YouTube. Show Me Football is the channel name. Follow the Twitter, Show Me FD. Check out showmefootball.com for more. And if you guys go over to check Lucas's channel out, make sure you leave him a MIZ in the comments.
Maybe don't do that, but both of their stuff will be linked in the description of this
video. And actually, furthermore, remind him that Missouri put up 600 yards of offense.
We don't have to go that far. We don't have to be mean at the end of this video. We just got done talking about a player that we think is going to be good. We were positive. Now we're being negative all of a sudden. So, both of their stuff will be linked in the description of this video.
And Lance Leipold's going to Wisconsin.
This video is completely derailed. Hit that like button, subscribe for more daily Chiefs content. Until next time, guys, thank you for watching, and as always, go Chiefs.